Hello class, this is a video tutorial on calculating a 5-point summary. A 5-point summary splits a data set into 4 quartiles, and you can think of quartiles as just into quarters. The 5 points that we'll be calculating are listed here: lower limit, lower quartile, median, upper quartile, and upper limit. And these three in particular, lower, median, and upper quartile, these are given special symbols, not too creative. Q1, Q2, and Q3. And since the 5-point summary splits the data into 4 quarters, all the numbers in between the lower limit and the lower quartile make 25% of all the data. Similarly, all the numbers between the lower quartile and the median make 25% of the data, and so on. So in a moment you're going to see here that we're going to find these 5 points. We're going to draw the lines on this data set, and you'll see that 25% of them will fall in between each of the lines. Let's go on here. Here we go. Let's take a look at our first example. The order in which we calculate these is actually very important, and there's really no other way of doing it in this other than this order. So the first thing we're going to calculate is the median, which I will now label as Q2. We've seen this done before in order to calculate the median. The median is calculated just by crossing off numbers from left and right until we arrive at a middle value. Let's take a look here, crossing off from the left, from the right, left, right, and we just keep on going until we arrive at a single number, or in this case, 2 numbers. For this, because there are 2 numbers, we have to take the average of the 2, which means the median will fall right in between here. So what number falls in between 58 and 58? And how we do that is we just take the average of the 2. So we take Q2 is equal to 58 plus 58 divided by 2. If you plug this into your calculator, 58 plus 58 divided by 2 is actually just 58. Next thing we're going to calculate is the lower and upper quartile. So the second thing we'll calculate is the lower and the upper quartile. I'm going to label them here. This is Q1 and Q3. We're going to calculate these two. And how we calculate the lower and upper quartile. First, I'm going to erase all these marks that I made, except for the median that I've just placed. Because from this median, we're going to start repeating the same process we did, only with this upper limit and this lower limit. I'll show you what I mean now. So to get the lower quartile, to calculate Q1, we start crossing off from the left, but this time instead of going all the way here, we're only going to cross off from this smaller data set. So we'll cross off 46, 58, from the left, from the right, from the left, and from the right, which means we've arrived to one number, which is 53. So our lower quartile is 53. We're going to now calculate the upper quartile in the same manner. We cross off from the left, from the right, left, right, left, right, and we've arrived to one number, which is 62. 62. There we go. Now, let me erase all these numbers. Let me erase all these markings. And I'm going to actually leave, should have done it before, actually going to leave circled the numbers that we calculated, 62, 53, and there we go. And we'll leave the median still here. Now to calculate the lower and upper limit, it's going to look a little bit funny here because from 2 I'm going to skip to 4. We need to calculate first the lower and upper limit. And how we calculate the lower limit is calculated by taking Q1 and we subtract 1.5 multiplied by the IQR. And this is a special number you're going to see in a moment. And to get the upper limit, we take Q3 and we add the same value, 1.5 times IQR. And what the IQR is number 3. It's the third bit we need to calculate. It is called the inter I quartile Q range. We need to get the interquartile range. In order to get the interquartile range, all we do is we take Q3, we subtract Q1. So we take the upper quartile, subtract the lower quartile, which means we do 62, take away 53, and that will give us a value of, from the looks here, plus 9. Yes, it's going to be 9. And then using this number, we can calculate this. So let's take the lower limit. We calculate by taking Q1, which is 53, and we subtract 1.5 times 9. You can calculate this using a calculator. 53 take away 1.5 times 9 gives us 39.5. And the upper limit, we take the upper quartile, upper quartile 62, and we add 1.5 times 9. Let's calculate that. 62 plus 1.5 times 9 gives us 75.5. Now, just so that we can summarize all of this, I'm going to take my red pen. You can take a highlighter to highlight all the important values we need. So we need the lower limit, Q1, the lower quartile, lower limit is 39.5. The lower quartile we have here. The median is 58. The upper quartile is 62. And the upper limit is 75.5. So let's just summarize this now, all in a nice little list. Get a lower limit is 39.5. Lower quartile is equal to 53. Our median, MED, is 58. upper quartile, upper, is equal to 62, and our upper limit is equal to 75.5. That is a 5-point summary from a data set, and best of luck to you all.